Please rise. Gentlemen, remove your caps as the junior ROTC color guard presents the flags and the senior chorus members sing our national anthem, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Carry, colors. Colors reverse. Forward. March.
Please be seated. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the class of 2019, I would like to welcome you to this commencement ceremony. I would like to begin this speech by thanking everyone who made it possible for all of us to be on this stage tonight. Thank you, parents, grandparents, siblings, and teachers for all of the love and support that you have showered us with to make us who we are today. Most importantly, I want to thank all of the beautiful faces up here with me that I have spent my school years laughing, loving, and crying with. This year has been a roller coaster of unexpected twists, and I would like to give a special thanks to Mr. Trunzo for stepping in when we needed it most. A comfort zone is defined as a place or situation where one feels safe or at ease and without stress. And as an amazing Spanish teacher and close mentor once taught me, life begins at the end of your comfort zone. Well, class of 2019, today we all take our first step out of our comfort zones. After we take this giant leap together tonight, it will be up to each and every one of us to keep marching forward and paving our new paths. As this chapter comes to an end and we begin another, I would like us all to remember the lessons we have learned along the way, like how to make friends, whether they were the ones we expected or not, that we are not indestructible, we are human. And most importantly, none of us have it all figured out, and that is 100% okay. We've been saying since the beginning how we can't wait to graduate and get away from high school. But now that we are all here on this stage, about to say goodbye for the last time, I finally understand what Winnie the Pooh was talking about when he said, "How lucky I am to have something that makes saying goodbye so hard." Thank you.
Webster's dictionary defines wedding as the fusing of two metals together with a hot torch. Well, you know something? I think you guys are two metals. 2 gold medals.
Dominic, wrong speech. This is our graduation.
Oh crap, sorry. In celebrating our graduation, we take a look back at all the things we've done through the past few years. All of our accomplishments and failures, some of which will be brought up here shortly. Together we've lived, laughed, and loved, most of which were West Shamokin students. Travis and Grace were supposed to last forever, and Jared was supposed to go to prom with Abby. Unfortunately, neither of those things happened, and despite all of the breakups and our not-so-proud moments, Matt and Tarina are still our powerhouse love couple, and our hope for future that true love still exists and is not just a neurological con job.
Our time together started in elementary school. Though we lost some and gained a few, no one could forget the metal slides at Rain, Canoe Grant, and Creekside that burned us when we went down. But that is a testament of our class for getting back up time and time again and keep trying, especially when bullying is defined as a repeated offense. We've been fortunate enough in our high school career to almost eliminate bullying completely, all because Morgan got it out of her system at a young age.
And didn't you guys apparently convince everyone that Bloody Mary was real?
The rumor was Bobby Peace did, and boy did it spread. Mr. McCunn had to yell at us because so many parents called the school. And even though Mr. McCunn was probably the scariest teacher, he was nothing compared to Mrs. Bruder-Smith. But these were simpler times. When we traded silly bands and had a fully functioning black market, we made a video parody to the god-awful party rock anthem to try to get computers for the school. We held a talent show where Kurt sang Red Solo Cup, and Mackenzie Gaps just cried every day in kindergarten because she missed her mom.
Unfortunately, I missed all of that. When I came to Marion Center in 8th grade, I had no idea what to expect. I was fortunate enough to have Mr. Sokol as my homeroom and science teacher. His 100-point tests that he assigned were never fun. They couldn't have been fun for him either, because they never seemed to work on the Scantron. But as bad as it was, we were just as bad. From smashing markers in the back of the room to just being loud, we gave that poor man such a hard time. But we all took away some very important lessons from Mr. Sokol. His catchphrases still stick with us today, like,
Bus goes that way.
I drive the bus.
Turn around.
No, sit down.
Why?
Please.
We've been told we're a great class, with great test scores. How that's possible, I have no idea. But it got Mr. Joyo so excited that he smashed a pre-cut table and broke trophies that flew into the audience during a pep assembly. Oh, and speaking of pep assemblies, do you guys remember when Jared punched Mr. Higbee with a pie in the face? No, don't worry, it's okay. Mr. Higbee said he hits like a girl.
every day, there were a few things we could always count on at Marion Center. Liz doing origami in class, Shira coughing in the background, Bryce Goss not showing up, and our own Ox Hill Fair queen, Jackie Fetzko, coming in late every morning. Some out-of-the-blue occurrences were not unheard of in our halls either. Remember when Charles brought in a live squirrel that he kept in his locker? Or when Abby Johnson brought in a dead bird to the girls' locker room? Apparently, Marion Center students have a thing for animals.
Though no one was there, everyone remembers a certain ski patroller who broke his leg on the slopes and was rushed to the hospital. If you ask Mr. Peters, he does have the video, but don't fret, he's a fellow ski patroller. I do not want him investigated.
Seth, didn't you also break your leg?
Yes, I did, back in 9th grade. And so did Kurt. Remember when his leg was run over? Michael Fleming broke his arm in gym. Ryan Gemmel also broke his. Tyler broke his playing baseball. But yours is definitely the best story. We're a very accident-prone class.
Speaking of accidents, let's bring up the dreaded student parking lot. It was a place of blood, death, and destruction every morning before school started and when it let out. No one, and I mean no one, could park between the lines. Poles jump out in front of our vehicles, in Travis's case. Grace backed into Paul, and Sarah just had no idea what she was doing.
Oh, do you remember the 9th grade scandal?
Yeah, but I don't think we can bring that up here. We've been a relatively good class, though. We said no to drugs, we didn't start a rap gang, and we rarely fought with each other.
There are many people we'd like to thank here tonight for being here with us through the years, but not all of them can make it. So we'd like to thank Mr. Trunzo for stepping in when we needed him the most, for being such a great role model in our school. And to our interim Dean of Students, Mr. Peterson, thank you. Do you even know what you do? Because the rest of us don't. And what does the IMC actually stand for? I have so many questions.
With all of the changes, there were a couple things we could count on staying the same, like Mrs. Pierce. Seth, can you remember when she didn't judge us?
No, Dom, I cannot. And do you remember when Miss Stadler actually liked us?
I don't think that was actually a thing. And as surprised as you may be, there was a time when Sierra Wilson was quiet. Now she won't stop talking. Zach and Zach's hair got longer. Skylar Park got a Yamaha tattoo. And we got a new student with only 2 weeks of school left.
Dom, that wasn't a new student. Anissa dyed her hair.
But out of all of this, we have still done exceptionally well. Mackenzie Walker has gone to states for cross country and track. Brant and Emma made it to states in Virathon. Aaron Brewer and Mackenzie Dolan made it to states for tech. And we all made it onto the stage tonight.
We have forever lost a very special classmate, and we will never forget her. We will all remember Amanda Beatty, and we love you, and we know you are in a better place. You know, it's fun to look back on all the memories we've made together over the years, but today we should look ahead towards the future. We have a long road ahead of us, but we will never forget where we came from. We will be forever prepared because of the friends and memories we've made during our time here together.
As we walk out of these doors for one last time as Marion Center students, now is the time to make sure we have the strings of all of the balloons we want to keep before they float away.
Safe travels on your journey forward in life, and in no time, you'll be saying, "Remember when we graduated? Thank you."
It is my great pleasure to introduce our guest speaker, District Judge Christopher S. Welch. He grew up near home, Pennsylvania, and attended Marion Center schools from kindergarten to high school graduation. While at Marion Center, he was very involved in both band and theater, served as a senior class officer, and volunteered for stage crew. Upon graduation from high school, Judge Welch attended Indiana University of Pennsylvania to earn a master's degree in business administration. He later attended Duquesne University School of Law, earning the degree of Juris Doctor. While earning his degrees, he was very busy working various jobs, including manual labor as a farmhand, in restaurants as a dishwasher and cook, and in retail and sales. After being admitted to practice law in Pennsylvania by the Pennsylvania Supreme Court, Judge Welch returned to Indiana, Pennsylvania, where he went into private practice. He has worked for a variety of individuals and businesses in a number of legal practice areas and is presently a partner in his own private law firm. In 2017, Judge Welch was elected to serve Northern Indiana County as the District Judge of the Magistral District Court. He currently resides in Penn Run with his wife, Michelle, who is also a Marion Center alumni, his daughter and stepdaughter, and their horses and dogs. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Judge Chris Welch.
Thank you, Hunter. It's good to be back. It's tough to follow a speech like Seth and Dominic just gave. That was excellent. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, faculty and staff in the Marion Center High School class of 2019. It is a distinct honor and privilege to be with you this evening. I last stood at this podium back in the 1900s, some 30 years ago, as a class officer about to graduate from Marion Center. I was given the task of preparing a speech for my classmates. Our senior English teacher, Mrs. Null, God rest her soul, was also our senior class advisor. She asked me to provide her with a copy of my prepared speech prior to graduation for her to review. During our entire final semester of senior English, we studied the topic of censorship. As most of the teachers here will admit, there are certain memorable classes for various reasons. My class happened to be of the rowdy, ruckus, and rebellious variety, and I think 2019 might be pretty close. I could stand here and give you one example after another, but let's suffice it to say that our class had a reputation of being classic pranksters and a bunch of smart alecks. And I will tell you, there was a groundhog episode. You talked about the animals. There was a dead groundhog involved in the school. Her husband was involved with the Royal Order or whatever it is of the groundhogs in Punxsutawney for Groundhog Day, and someone sacrificed a groundhog in Mrs. Knoll's doorway. I readily admit and confess to you that I was considered by our faculty as one of the wild ones. I don't think Mrs. Knoll, or Mama Knoll as we affectionately called her, ever really knew how to take me. To her credit, I think she had some legitimate concerns that I was going to say something that would embarrass her or the faculty. When she asked to see my speech, of course I gave it to her. Sometime later, she returned to me a redacted and edited version of my speech that was somewhat watered down. In all reality, I had no intention of creating chaos among my classmates or an embarrassing moment for her. I really just wanted to get done and get out of here. When she gave the speech back to me, I was somewhat deflated because she had taken out some of the key points that my speech, that I felt as an 18-year-old were appropriate. It was clearly what I had learned in her class as a form of censorship. My mom, who was also a very long-time teacher at McCreary, asked if she could see my version of the speech to compare it to what Mrs. Knoll had returned to me. And I explained to her that she had edited my speech and I thought that it was censorship. She agreed with me there was nothing harmful in my version of the speech and that if I felt the need to deliver my speech, she did not have a problem with it. So I proceeded to prepare for graduation. The routine you all just went through. Getting all dressed up, posing for photos, walking in here with a strange square cap on your head, a tassel banging you in the face the whole time, trying to look coordinated as you walked up here on this stage, sat down, and listened to boring speakers. Then it was my moment to shine, my turn at the podium. I walked up here with Mrs. Knoll's censored speech in my hands and my speech secretly tucked in my pocket. Once at the podium, I took a deep breath and looked around and gave Mrs. Knoll a big smile. I reached into my pocket and produced the original notebook paper containing my speech and proceeded to deliver my speech. Nothing too crazy, seamlessly delivered. After my speech, I took my seat on the stage and proceeded to graduate. At the end of the evening, as parents were filing out and students were saying their goodbyes, Mrs. Knoll would not look at me or speak to me. So just before I left, I walked up to her to say goodbye. She looked at me and told me she was initially not happy with what I had done. I would have never gotten away with what you guys just did. She said in the end, she was very proud of me because I had clearly learned from our discussions of censorship. She was proud because I had made up my mind and chosen to follow my own script. That was an empowering moment for me. And I hope that you find some enlightenment in the commencement process this evening as you receive your diplomas and take your first steps forward as graduates. The purpose of me telling you this story is not to talk about myself, but to give you a story about someone who has been right where you are at this moment and hopefully inspire and motivate you with some words of wisdom drawn from the 30-some years since I last stood at this very podium. So look around. Which one of you is going to be asked in 20 or 30 years to come back and speak to the graduates of Marion Center? I didn't even pay for the sound effects. I would have never thought that I was going to be the one in my class to be asked to come back up here. What does it mean to follow your own script? Well, in a nutshell, a traditional life script might go something like this. Go to high school, graduate, pursue higher education, get a dream job, buy a car, get married, buy a house, have kids, retire. But who writes that script? It seems to me you might think that your family, your friends, your teachers influence your script. But in the end, it is your script. Only you choose your script. What is in your script? Who is in your script? What happens in your script? And when it happens. Every time that you make a choice or a decision in life, you are writing your script, whether you planned it that way or didn't. In your academic life, you may or may not choose to continue your education. In your personal life, you may choose whether to marry, stay single, have children. In your professional life, you will choose a profession, the type of work you'll do, which jobs to take, where you will work. Whether you continue your education, whether you marry or raise a family, whether you choose a profession in building trades, military, retail, service, medicine, law, education, or any other number of professions, are all choices that you will make as you write your life script. This is your script. As I ponder what I can impart upon you in my years of academic, personal, and professional experience and wisdom, it comes down to these three things. First, always be part of the solution and not part of the problem. What do I mean by that? Simple. Don't always wait around for someone else to fix a problem. You might not be prepared to resolve every problem that life throws at you, but if you're able to resolve a problem, don't be helpless. Get your hands dirty, solve the problem. If you cannot solve it, ask for help from someone who can solve the problem. If you can't solve it, be resourceful. Waiting around for someone else to solve a problem, or better yet, your problem, makes you part of the problem and not part of the solution. Be the problem solver. Again, be a part of the solution and not part of the problem. Second, always take the high road. When you're faced with a situation, especially one that I like to call a moral dilemma, always take the high road. When you're among friends and they're doing something that isn't right and you know better, take the high road. Put time and distance between you and a bad situation. Choose to do the right thing. I remember my dad always telling me, you know the difference between right and wrong. That's all he had to say. He didn't have to say, do the right thing. It was inferred in his tone. So by taking the high road, you get away from the river's edge of where you can fall in and run amok. Do the right thing when the circumstances are tough. Always take the high road. And third and finally, the golden rule. I hope that young people today still know the meaning of the golden rule. Can anyone tell me what it is? Do unto others as you would have them do to you. This means to be a decent human being. Don't bully people. Don't be mean. Treat people with respect. Don't use people. Look for ways of helping other people. Someday you may be the one who needs a nice person or a friend. People are so much more likely to do good things for you when you've been a decent person. Despite the adage that good guys always finish last, I still believe that every day we should practice random acts of kindness. Always, always, always follow the golden rule, and good things will come to you. So I hope that as you leave here tonight, you consider and reflect upon the things that I have said. And I hope that you will always make good choices and have much success in all that each and every one of you do as you follow your own script. The very best of luck and the sincerest of congratulations to all of you, the Marion Center High School class of 2019. Thank you.
At this time, I wish to invite Judge Chris Welch back to the podium. Beginning with the 1987-88 school term, the Student Council has been recognizing alumni of Marion Center Area High School who have distinguished themselves by advancing in their professional careers to positions of tremendous responsibility and commitment. Judge Welch is the 32nd recipient of our Wall of Fame Award, and we have a plaque for him which reads, Christopher S. Welch, District Judge, graduated MCASD, Class of 1988, MCASD Wall of Fame, inducted May 30th, 2019. Congratulations, Mr. Welch. We are pleased to have you on our Wall of Fame.
Good evening. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Clint Weimer, the superintendent of the Marion Center Area School District. And if you're looking to do some research about me, I ask you not to do it on a snowy December morning when I've made a marginal call about coming to school. I often get my best press on Facebook, and it's full of colorful descriptors. So might not be the best time to get a true picture of who I am and what we do here, but I'm sure you've all seen that. Truly, though, I want to thank all the parents, guardians, siblings, and community members that have contributed to the success of these young men and women here on stage tonight. I truly believe they would not be here without your support. And also, first and foremost, I want to thank the faculty, K to 12, for all the hard work they've done to get these students here. Thank you. Congratulations, class of 2019. I'm proud to be your superintendent, and I'm proud of you. You truly have been a good class. I promise I won't keep you under these heat bulbs for too long. I definitely have a tough act to follow from our previous speakers, so that's why I'm just going to give a few short remarks. And hopefully, you may take a little something with you tonight. As Judge Welch has said, he was giving you 3 strong bullet points to remember. He stole my thunder. I have 3 bullet points. So bear with me. Just a few rules that I try to live by that make life a little simpler when things become chaotic. And they've been proven to be successful for me to get me to where I'm at today. First and foremost, be nice to your fellow man. Smile. Say hello. Invest in those around you. And never burn a bridge, because you never know when you have to cross it again. Second, pursue the opportunities that life throws your way. These opportunities will only appear if you invest in the people around you. And lastly, if you're going to seek those opportunities, you must be willing to put in the hard work. Opportunities are only achieved when doors open and you pursue with a passionate work ethic that is more competitive than your peers that stand beside you. Class of 2019, please go out into the world. Be nice. Work hard and pursue opportunities that will come your way. If you follow this pattern, more and more opportunities will continue to come your way. You will continue to strengthen your character and build a life that is full of accomplishments and conquered dreams. I truly wish each and every one of you the best of luck. Proud to be your superintendent.
Congratulations, class of 2019, and thank you for letting me share this night with you. Now, verifying that all of these students have met the graduation requirements of the state of Pennsylvania, it is my pleasure to present the class of 2019 to Mr. Weimer, Superintendent, and Mr. Greg Sacco, School Board President. Mr. Weimer, please approach the podium for the awarding of diplomas.
That is, if I signed them all. With the power invested in me by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania as a superintendent of the Marion Center Area School District, I accept the class of 2019. At this time, Mr. Sacco awarded diplomas to the salutatorian and valedictorian.
2019 salutatorian is Mary Emma Bland. Congratulations. The 2019 valedictorian is Riley Schott. Congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are proud and excited to have reached this milestone. We, the class of 2019, ask that you respect the dignity of our ceremony and show consideration for each senior as the diplomas are presented. Please refrain from outbursts and hold your applause so all the names of the graduates can be heard. We thank you in advance for your respect. Row 1, please rise. Jacob Adamson. Malia Adamson. Araya Alabran. Edwin Anderson. Tiffany Banks. Ian Bertuzzi. Aaron Brewer. Ethan Brewer. Haley Brooks. Destiny Buderbaugh. Eric Bazzelli. Tarina Christie. Samantha Cronin. Curtis DeHaven. Mackenzie Doolin. Row 2, please rise. Derek Eiselman. Dalton Elkin. Jacqueline Fetzko. Michael Fleming. Tessa Freeman. Vincent Fry. Jade Fulmer. Sarah Fulton. Mackenzie Gapshis. Malia Gardner. Ryan Gimmel. Bryce Goss. Bryce Gromley. Caitlin Gromley. Ian Broom. Diana Gutierrez. Row 3, please rise. Gavin Halbrin. Claire Henderson. Zachary Hicks. Matthew Himes. Tyler House. Laurel Huey. Levi Eisenberg. Abigail Johnston. Aaron Keller. Sydney Kimmel. Alyssa Leisure. Jordan Leisure. Devin Lingenfelter. Taylor Lingenfelter. Robert Livingston. Brandon Lusick.
Row 4, please rise. Shira Leet. Grant Leidick. Alyssa Mallet. Connor McGrady. Kyle Miller. Trent Mock. Jared Muma. Michaela Musser. Anessa Orr. Holly Orr. Zachary Painter. Skylar Park. Travis Parcell. Derek Pierce. Bobby Peace. Derek Pennington. Row 5, please rise. Madison Penrose. Caitlin Poprock. Leila Powell. Haley Rankin. Austin Reinhardt. Hannah Rising. Faith Rossiter. Robert Rossiter. Carlos Santiago. Tyler Schweitzer. Angela Searchfield. Natalie Shuey. Shylin Smicklow. Coral Smith. Grace Snyder. Row 6, please rise. Andrew Steele. Sarah Stewart. Morgan Straw. Megan Trunzo. Kevin Updegraff. Megan Updegraff. Dominic Urbani. Elizabeth Valia. Odessa Valleys. Samuel Vaneski. Mackenzie Walker. Hunter Waltmeyer. Jessica Weaver. Holly Wetzel. Seth White. Sierra Wilson. You may be seated.
Will the class of 2019 please rise? Through the power vested in me by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and the Marion Center Area School Board, I now pronounce you graduates of the Marion Center Area High School.